guys, welcome back to another video. We are on issue 7. It looks like things are slowly picking up. They're probably getting to the big reveal of the first episode of the show. I'm not going to say it just in case there's anybody who hasn't seen the show and this is your first exposure to it. So, like always, like and subscribe to videos. Like and subscribe, comment on the videos, and I appreciate you guys' support. And I hope to one day be able to do this more and do a bit more different types of content for this ASMR niche and see where this all goes. So without further ado, let's get into issue 7. I'm going to skip this cover part. Okay, so we see Mark sleeping in the bed, and looks like a narration's going on. After a long week of late night superheroics, Saturdays are an excellent time to catch up on your sleep. Of course, some have more sleep to catch up on than others. Still sleep. Some have a lot more sleep to catch up on than others. We jump to Midnight City, 9 o'clock a.m. We hear someone saying, "I haven't been up this early in years." Oh, quit your belly aching. We're making good time here. 9 o'clock a.m. But the sky looks dark still? I'm confused. Okay. Aren't you afraid of getting caught? Especially this early in the day? You've got a lot to learn about Midnight City, little brother. There is no day and night. Not since the Midnight Magician succeeded in his suicide mission 3 years ago. I thought you knew about all this when I asked you to come stay with me. I knew a little bit about it, but not all the details. What about cops? What if we trip an alarm? After it happened, the government started paying people to leave, covering moving expenses and whatnot. There aren't many cops left either. Only people here are the ones that refuse to leave and people like us who stayed behind to loot the place. There is almost nobody left. Only real threat to us is Darkwing, and he can't be everywhere. I wouldn't be so sure as the Walmart Batman descends from the sky. It's really weird seeing him look pretty much like a redesigned Batman without the bat ears. Oh man, oh man, oh man, you're on your own. You're on your own, bro. Darkwing lets out, throws a tool, I don't know what this is called, but a tool to tie around the legs that they throw. He throws it and it catches the little brother, and the older brother goes up to Darkwing, holds a gun to his head, and says, "Oh, who's got the upper hand now, Mr. Superhero Big Shot?" You feel that cold, hard object pressed against your temple? If you're guessing that's my gun, then you're absolutely right. And just then, Darkwing knocks him out and says, "Chatterbox, I'm going to struggle to say Darkwing when I see him, because I think Batman and I think about Nightwing. If I say Nightwing, bear with me. Guardians of the Globe, priority alert. Return to base immediately. I'm on my way, Darkwing says. Darkwing runs away, and he says Wingjet as he jumps off the rooftop. And he descends down, and the Wingjet flies by and catches him. Belvedere, contact the authorities. I left a couple perps on the Burns Tower. I've been called away. In Moscow, we see people getting robbed and saying in a different language, "No, please stop." Just then, someone speeds past, knocking out the robbers, and says, "Kneel before Kursk." And he seems by again. Oh, you know what? This is probably separate instances. Okay, so in Moscow, we see people getting robbed or a woman getting mugged. Says, "No, stop, please." Someone rushes by, speeds by, knocks out the thugs, and hands back the purse to the lady while she's sitting there saying, "What?" And elsewhere, an electrified being is saying, "Kneel before Kursk," as he blows up a car. And someone speeds by again, puts him in handcuffs. And the guy is just confused, saying, "Huh?" And elsewhere again, a cat is about to fall out of a tree. And the little girl is saying, "No, no, kitty, you'll fall." And someone whooshes by, returns the cat to the little girl, and the little girl says, "Wow, magic kitty." And elsewhere we see two people sitting on a picnic blanket. I can't remember this guy's name, but essentially the knockoff Flash. And the girl he's sitting with is saying, and I told her, if I find my stapler in her office one more time, I'm going to, you bastard. You think you could get away with a little superheroing in between words? Damn it, Joseph. You said you were taking the day off. Oh, sorry. You're a lost cause. You know that? You better hope nobody noticed I was eating lunch with the Red Rush a second ago. Where was I? You had caught Olga with your stapler again. Anyway, Guardians of the Globe, priority alert. Return to base immediately. Crap. You heard it. Go on. Sorry, babe. I love you. I love you too. In Boston, we see, I don't remember any of the Guardians of the Globe. I don't remember the names of anybody in the Guardians of the Globe unless they say it. So I'm going to be using Justice League names because why not? We see knockoff Wonder Woman naked in her bed. Looks like she's moaning. And as she's getting dressed, she walks into the kitchen and says, "Oh, that smells heavenly," as someone is at the stove cooking breakfast. And she says, "If you're going to be doing this every morning, I'm going to have to sleep over more often." The other girl says, "I was hoping you'd say that." Just then, a huge Centaurian mixed with Apocalypse buses in, and the knockoff Wonder Woman says, "By the gods, You must flee, my love. And the other girl says, be careful. The knockoff, I said apocalypse. The knockoff dark side, not apocalypse. The Centaurian dark side, Centaurian dark side says, you will return with me to the other realms. War woman, that's her name. Your place is not among these mortals. Your mother is worried about you. War woman says, how many times must I tell my mother I go where I please, as he transforms and dons her armor? She lunges at the Centaurian dark side and he says, you have no choice. War woman says, I won't go. She's beating him senseless. I won't go back. She defeats him, and the other girl that she was with comes back and says, what was that? War woman says, something from my past. I will have my company hire someone to move you out of here today, and then reimburse your landlord for the damage. Pick a larger place. I plan to stay over more often. Let me know if you have any trouble replacing anything. The other girl says, are you all right? And she says, I will be fine. And just then, Guardians of the Globe priority alert. Return to base immediately. War woman says, I must go. Be careful. In Atlantis, we see the guy I don't know the name of, a knockoff Aquaman. He's sleeping in what looks like his throne, I'm assuming. And he wakes to the priority alert as well. And he swims away saying, finally, some action. In space, we see a robot worm saying, die, flesh, die. And we see the knockoff Martian Manhunter saying, it's crushing me. Quickly, before it kills us, go intangible and scramble its circuits. It looks like someone else says that to him, and he says, oh yeah, I forgot I could do that. Here goes nothing. The robot says, does not compute, as he reaches inside of the robot and explodes it from the inside. Oh, it's two people. I'm a little confused now. Okay, so there's a green guy that's intangible and a knockoff Martian Manhunter, I think. I remember them from the show. I just don't remember their names. The green guy says, you okay? And the Martian says, I am fine. Were it not for your delay, I would be better. Sorry about that, Martian man, but I've only been the green ghost for a month. I'm still getting used to the powers. So green ghost and Martian man. Martian man says, you're learning quickly. You just have a long way to go. You will learn. I am confident you were chosen as my friend's successor for a reason. I hope you're right. Black. And just then he throws up something on his chest. And he says, that's something I'm never going to get used to. Just then they both get the priority alert as well. And Green Ghost says, crap. You think I've got time to wash this thing off? Martian Man says, I'm afraid not. As the Green Ghost is, I guess, eating the thing that he threw up. And he flies away looking sick. High above Denver, we see Immortal, that's his name. We see Immortal fighting or flying through the air. It looks like he's fighting somebody. And he says, I thought I was rid of all you ridiculous villains. You may think of Biplane as a silly villain now, Immortal, but soon you'll see the damage I can do. Immortal says, please, child, the suspense is killing me. Biplane says, this is it for me, my last hurrah. I've got the cancer in my lymph nodes. I'm a goner. Doc says I've got less than a month, and I'm going out with a bang. I'm laced with enough carcinogens and loaded down with enough hazardous materials to make Denver glow in the dark. My power source is uranium. It's all we had to use in the old days. Yes, sire. Or yes, sirree. They won't know what hit them. Just then, Immortal grabs his hands, and Biplane says, wait, what are you doing? Right as Immortal flings him through the air. He says, when in doubt, throw them into space. Just then, he gets the priority alert as well. I'm on the way, he says, and he flies away. And he flies past a sign that says, now entering Utah. And he says, Rumpelstiltskin, as he's approaching a rock. And he starts to phase through the rock, looking like it was Rumpelstiltskin was the password to get in. And we see him entering the base. And he's met with the rest of the Guardians of the Globe. And he asks, well, what's the big emergency? And the speedster says, you don't know? We thought you were the one who called us here, since none of us knew what was going on and you hadn't arrived yet. Darkwing says, what the hell is going on? And just then, they all start to get murdered one by one. They get murdered one by one, and Immortal is the one that's left. And he says, you coward, show yourself. You may have caught the others by surprise, but I won't be so easy. You can't hide from me forever. I never liked you. He says that just before he gets beheaded by Omni-Man himself. And Omni-Man says the feeling was mutual as he's covered in blood. All right, that's where we're going to stop with issue 7. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. And I will catch you guys in the next video. All right, peace.